Ready to master the art of movement in Marvel's Snap? This deck combines precision and power to outmaneuver your opponents and stack massive power in unexpected locations. Let's break down the ultimate move strategy. We kick things off with our cards that can be moved. That includes Dagger, Human Torch, Multiple Man, and Vulture. Our move activators, cards that activate the move, include Araña, Iron Fist, Madame Web, who if you don't have her, you might be able to substitute in Hulkbuster, Doctor Strange, Cloak,
Big Heem.
Did you really think I wouldn't add Shang-Chi into my move deck? What Shang-Chi allows you to do is on the last turn, if an opponent expects the Heimdall, what you can do is you can play Shang-Chi and clear out one of their big power lanes, and then play Doctor Strange to pull either a large Dagger or Vulture or Human Torch to that lane to win your second lane. Move is an extremely difficult archetype to play. I'm sure I will make some mistakes and I will point those out. If you spot me making mistakes, please point them out as well. We're all trying to get better here. I will do my best to represent the move players to the highest degree. And let's see how I do. Okay, Ondo Wando. What do you have for me? Panopticon is the first location. 8 cards in deck. You have to start planning out where you want your cards, starting at the beginning of the game, assuming you draw into Heimdall. Again, Heimdall shifts all the cards left, and it's in order. After turn 4, cards here repeat. Okay, that's good if I can get down a Cloak. So I want to play Madame Web here. An Agent Venom deck. They probably aren't running Shadow King in that case. I could play Araña. Let's play down Araña, or activate her. And then I can play Vulture here. I'm going to snap. I have enough tools and I'm going to draw into more. And so I like the position I'm in. Of course, Mojo World is probably a location that we give up. And so I'm just going to need to be able to position my cards in the right way. But with Valentina, this makes me think Luke Cage potentially. When you combine that with the Agent Venom. Let's see. I definitely want to play... So move Vulture here. I definitely want to play Cloak. So I will play Dagger. Oh, it doesn't even matter. What am I thinking? It makes no difference. So in that case, I will play... Ghost Spider into Dagger. Let's see. Now, this is the thing. I have these 2 cards ahead of Dagger, so I would need to keep this lane empty in order for the Dagger to move. So if I play Heimdall, it would just move Madame Web and Ghost Spider. There is Vulture. So let's go Dagger here. I can pull the Vulture and then the Cloak. Pull that, play Cloak here. My plan is, as I'm not really explaining this, is to figure out how to get the most amount of power where I need it. I have so many move activators on the board right now that this is really just spreading out where I kind of want my power. And I might do a pivot. So let's see. Because what I could do is completely bail on middle. And I think... Well, I did just allow them to move into Mojo World. There is that. But do they do that? That is the question. I just do multiple man, move the Vulture, and here? Okay, and this is where you can kind of get too cute as well. Maybe this move was too cute. I should have just slammed down the Heimdall. And the reason why multiple man's in here is to leave behind power as well, even though it's just 3, that can matter, especially in this deck. I am curious to know what they were low ranked. Okay. The reason I suspected that is their deck looks a little beginnerish, but they do have Agent Venom and Valentina, which is what was throwing me off. Very few people run Hawkeye. Oh, and Athena they have. Claw and Ant-Man. So they do have a bunch of Series 5 cards, so I was kind of curious. Because they are a low CL player, that's something I probably should have checked in advance when my antenna was raised. Because against those type of players who don't have a lot of game knowledge, you probably just want to do the Heimdall and stack power where you can. Maybe I leave the Vulture middle and then play Heimdall middle. I think that's it. I play Heimdall middle. So I leave the Vulture middle. I move one of these cards out. That way Dagger can slide middle. And I play Heimdall middle. I think that will be the play. That does leave behind potentially a card here. It's tough for me to remember at this point, but yeah, this we clearly had the game covered, and we will move on to the next match. Okay, next up we have Black Widow herself. Project Pegasus is not great for this deck. 8 cards. We will just waste a 5 energy. And I will get down Araña. We will see. Hopefully it's more of a flood type deck. It is the big cost deck, so we do have Shang-Chi for that. Human Torch. Do they run Shadow King in their deck? Because Shadow King could blank us. I will hold one more turn. Just be patient. Just see what they get on the board. They also could Cosmo us. The Cosmo wouldn't be under a Tuma, at least. Oh, New York is juicy. Let's snap that. That is a good location for us. And now I need to do something. So I have 2 move activators and 2 targets. Now what do I want to actually move? Let's go Araña, Human Torch, into Dagger here. Luke Cage, so they may indeed be running Shadow King. There is the Dagger. And now I want to pull the Dagger here. Or no, I definitely don't. I want to pull a Dagger here. And then play Vulture middle is fine. Okay, the armor there, so they can get cards down into the Atuma path. They can also take advantage of New York. And Heimdall. So what does this pull? This pulls my Human Torch. I can only pull it this way. Let's do it. I need to remember there's 7 turns. So I'm fine if I leave this Human Torch a sitting duck. That's bold. That is a bold choice, playing Arrow against a move deck. So I almost definitely want to move Dagger here. I want to play Madame Web middle and the Shang-Chi. I'll hold on the Sean. Okay. There's Surtur, Skaar, and Nico. They have priority. Do you know what that means? That means... I mean, I just Shang-Chi. So if I go Sean here, because Surtur's going to bump up, and then just get the Iron Fist here just in case? Don't overthink it. Yeah, don't oh. Uh-oh. This is a tie. I don't win tiebreaker? I do win tiebreaker? They went with Cosmo. Interesting. Okay. So they went with the unexpected play. But of course, we have an unexpected play of our own. That is why we bring him here. And they were expecting me to play Heimdall right, because a lot of players love to play Heimdall right. They love to do it. So honestly, Heimdall left would have been the best play, because I would have been up to 13. Human Torch goes up to 16. So that wins left. I probably also win middle because of Dagger and Vulture. So they went with the unexpected Cosmo playing for the Heimdall, but this deck can pivot thanks to Shang-Chi, and that's what we did. Okay, we have Chris E. Bacon. Say that fast. I will be patient. High ranked player. Thanos deck. High collection level player. If this is the destroy version of Thanos, so I have a choice here. I could play the Human Torch, Doctor Strange that. I could do Vulture and Doctor Strange that. I think that's what I will do. Try to assess what deck my opponent has. Wakanda. Okay, this is good, because on turn 4, I can do a Cloak and Doctor Strange. So this Vulture is going to be humongous. So I will go Vulture here. I am not worried about the Doctor Strange Shang-Chi on the last turn, because they will play their Thanos into Wakanda. Play Doctor Strange here, Cloak here. And then next turn is when I will snap. They are a Flood version. They have played 5 stones. There is the Cloak, so now we definitely move the Vulture back. I can get down a bunch of cards. Madame Web, Iron Fist, and Human Torch. I think this is snap-worthy. I think this is snap-worthy. Because how are they go... Mr. Bacon thinks it's snap-worthy too. That is why the Shadow King, okay? But I still... I should have played Madame Web middle. Oh, they got me with the Shadow King. That was a good one. Thanos is discounted, right? What's Time Stone? -1. So they could play a stone in Thanos. I could move Human Torch over here. 4, 8, 10 plus 7. Okay. So if I do this... Come on. If I do this, this, and this? No, 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 no. Undo. If I do this, you only have to win 2 lanes. This and this. Can I math? Can I math? Oh. 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 The Marvel Boy. The Marvel Boy got both stones. Man. This was a good stay. It is a good stay, and you can't convince me any other way. And they were super pleased at the randomness that Marvel Boy got them. Good on them. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He had to hit both stones over in this lane, both of them. Which means he hit one over here, and then I don't know what the odds are. If there's a mathematician in the audience, please let me know. This is a stay that I will do every single time. I can account for 1 point of power for Marvel Boy, but I just can't account for 2. Heimdall, I'm pretty sure, loses no matter what, because I don't have enough that slides. So it was the right play to hold back on Heimdall. And ultimately, this is why Shang-Chi is in the deck. We can plan to win 2 lanes. And that's exactly what I did. They were fulfilled right. I was beating them by 2, so ultimately they won tiebreaker. But this is always a good stay, as much as a negative 8.8 cuber hurts. This is always a good stay, even though, you know, you might it might hurt your soul. It's always a good stay, because the chances that Marvel Boy hits both 1 cost when they have 5 on the board is lower than 50%. Don't quote me on that. Okay, up next, I will be editing out the username. Araña here. Yeah. So with Araña and Madame Web, you really want Madame Web in the middle or right. I suppose I will play Madame Web middle, get the Muir Island bonus. And now with Araña, I think How does this work with Aunt May's? Does the location... So I just clicked into their profile. I didn't feel like doing additional editing. They were 15 CL, so they have plenty of game knowledge. You see 2 move cards like this, I am full move. Aunt May's appears, you snap. You're playing a full move deck. So I had options. I was debating, do I play Dagger here, like activate Araña, play Dagger, Dagger Aunt May, that triggers goes somewhere, and then Araña moves it left, which means it goes back someplace. But that also means it could end at Aunt May's. I don't want to do that. So I think multiple man is probably what I would have done. This turn, I think I would have done Araña into Dagger left, and then I can move it middle here. On turn 5, I still could have saved Araña and played Vulture here, or activated the Araña, play Vulture, that moves middle, and I could have just thrown the Dagger middle and just let it build up power, and then I could move it later with Madame Web, play multiple man and Aunt May's. That's 2 5 power or 6 power multiple men. I have Doctor Strange. I was just well set up. And this is a good snap 10 out of 10 times, and it's a good retreat from my opponent 10 out of 10 times. Okay, next up we have Quij Thiago playing Arishem. Okay, we can get into the vault, no problem. I will be patient. When you go up against Arishem, you have no clue what they have, so you're going to see a game where I don't play around anything. They might very well have Shadow King and Shang-Chi, or they don't. But I can't depend on either of those, so let's get Araña down first. And then next turn, I have some options. Okay. Let's go. Let's activate this and go Human Torch into Ghost Spider. Do I snap? What is this? Arishem card. Arishem card. I won't snap just yet. They get my Dagger or Cloak. Okay, Human Torch there. That is a significantly large Human Torch. Wakanda. I was going to play Dagger and Cloak this turn. I think I want to let my Human Torch sit there. So I will just play Vulture here. I'm going to snap. The vault is closing on them. On turn 5, I can play Cloak over there and get enough power, of course, depending on what they do. They got the Dagger. Let's see. I think it is Cloak and Dagger. In turn. Okay, they will be able to move a card, but so can we. I will have to move to... Heimdall. Perfect. So I can go... Oh, I can't move it middle. Okay. I mean, Human Torch, that's enough to solo middle. So I can move this here, so that's 12, 6, 18. Is that not enough? $12 plus 9 is 21. 21 plus 5 is 26. It is a tie. If they leave Werewolf. I'm doing this. We're going full on Heimdall. It's a tie if they don't move it. They're gonna move it. Or it's tough not to move it, actually, is the position they are probably in. But we do tie if I can math. So we will just go Heimdall. If they Cosmo me, that's fine. Okay, yeah, there's that. Perfect. Perfect. So they did have both Shadow King and Shang-Chi. If they left the Sean by itself, so they played in a different order. If they played Shang-Chi first and then Shadow King, the werewolf will be over here. We still beat a Shang-Chi 4-3. Like I said, anticipated, it's hard not to move that werewolf, especially if you have a random deck. There's a lot of on-revoke cards. They drew their Shang-Chi, and they drew their Shadow King. Good old Arishem. And they drew their blob. Ay, ay, ay. Big Heimdall coming into play. I was going for a win all 3 lanes approach. That's exactly what I did. And I was able to win 2 of them. That's all you need to do in Marvel Snap. Quick note from the last game. The reason why I wasn't keen on moving Human Torch is he was already at 16. If I leave him in Wakanda, he can't be Shang-Chi'd. Shadow King is 2-3, which just reduces my cards, but when they move, they still get buffed up. Shang-Chi deletes my cards. There is no more buffing it up. The cards don't exist. So I am less fearful from a Shadow King than I am a Shang-Chi. That is why I left the Human Torch in Wakanda. And as you saw, it ended up working out. And now it didn't quite matter in that game, but it can matter in other matches. Now, back to the wrap-up. This is just a pure move deck through and through. Of course, I threw in Shang-Chi. You got to see why in 1 or 2 of the matches that I included. Heimdall, of course, is just classic move. You can either go that way or you can pivot to other unexpected move paths or Shang-Chi. This deck, of course, is difficult to pilot. I've been recording for 46 minutes. That, I think, is good. That includes the intro and just downtime and all of that stuff. So the fact that I was able to get a good cross-section of games, which included a good number of wins, means the deck is still powerful. It can still win. You got to see that. You got to see a heartbreaking loss, but such is the way in Marvel Snap. This deck is definitely difficult to pilot. I tried to explain as much as I could. I'm sure I added some editor's notes to boot. Maybe. And hopefully if you try out this deck, you give it time. That's what it takes. And you build up your ability with this deck, the knowledge that you need. Don't always play Heimdall right. Sometimes completely abandon right. People expect it there. And hopefully you can get some wins if move interests you. Thank you for making it this deep into the video. Thank you to all my members. I appreciate all of you. You all do get the nice perk of seeing these videos in advance. But otherwise, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Really appreciate it. Let me know how this deck does for you. And until next time, we kick things off with our move targets. Thank you for making it this deep.